Hi, this is Ryan Brown from mockquestions.com. In this video, we'll discuss 15 teacher interview questions from our website. We'll go over each question and some advice on how to answer them, along with an answer example. Afterwards, if you found this video helpful, please like and share. That would mean a lot to us. Okay, let's get started. Question number 1. Why did you decide to become a teacher? The interviewer wants to know more about the passion that drives you to be an educator. If there was a person or an experience that inspired you to choose the path of teaching as a career, share your story. Discuss your passion for what you do by pinpointing the best parts of your day-to-day as a teacher. Your genuine enthusiasm will be the key to a successful answer. I always go back to memories of my 8th grade teacher. He had a lot of passion for his class and put his whole heart into his teaching. He spent time after school talking to the students and getting to know them. While his classes were challenging, the biggest influence he had on us was that he always encouraged us never to give up. I believe his influence is what initially sparked my interest in becoming an educator. I try to emulate the same level of care and consideration with my students now. Question number 2. What interests you about our school? The interviewer would like to know the depth of your knowledge regarding their school. The way you answer this question will help them to determine if you will be a good fit when it comes to their workplace culture. Do some research beforehand about the learning environment. Know what strengths the school offers in the district, then let the interviewer know precisely how well you believe you will fit in. I've always been interested in e-learning and alternative learning methods for students because I think this is where the future of education is. For my research, this school is very technologically advanced and uses smartboards and offers plenty of online classes that students would not otherwise have the opportunity to take, such as AP French language and culture. I see that your school also provides students with laptops and promotes a paperless environment, which is a big part of my lifestyle as well. Question number 3. A good teacher is always learning. What is something you are learning about recently? Show the interviewer that you would continue to advance your learning and that you have a genuine interest in your working environment. Here's a list of things you can talk about. A new hobby or sport you are passionate about, a new country or place you traveled to, a new dish you cooked or tried. Show the interviewer that you are an interesting person and always open to new things. Make some connections to your teaching and tell them how you've applied or plan to use what you've learned to reach your students. I have been a university student for many years now and am always reading. To switch things up, I recently started subscribing to a few different podcasts. My favorite at the moment is French Your Way, which is led by a native French teacher who teaches the language to her podcast students. I love the variety of things that I could learn just from tuning in. Question number 4. How would your students describe your relationship with them and your teaching style? This question focuses more on your relationship with the students. The interviewer wants to know how you interact with your students and how they would talk about your teaching style if given the opportunity. Think of 2 to 3 points which are especially liked by the students. Something you do that has been very effective or helpful for students. I think my students would comment on how my classes are fun and interactive. I never let anyone sleep or get away with not being engaged, and I have a list of games up my sleeve to pull out whenever the class is getting dry. I also want to make sure my students are up and moving in my class. Sometimes we'll spend the afternoon enacting a Shakespearean sonnet or making posters for our Renaissance festival. Question number 5. How do you communicate with parents on a regular basis? The interviewer would like to know the resources that you use to stay in touch with parents regularly. There are a variety of useful parent-teacher communication methods. If you can, do some research on the parent demographic at the school for which you are interviewing. If it's a more traditional environment, writing a homework log or making phone calls may be better. Perhaps you rely on email, texting, Twitter, or even a classroom blog to reach out to parents. Whatever they may be, make sure your methods are modern and up to date. In my classrooms, we have a private Twitter account that the parents can join. The students will upload photos of their work and can also send direct tweets to their parents when they are proud of their work. We also have agenda every day, and the parents initial the communication daily. Each parent has my email address, so they are free to contact me at any time. Question number 6. What are some techniques you use to teach besides direct instruction? Although direct instruction works well for specific topics and types of students, teachers are alternating and expanding their teaching methods to combine both direct teaching and the alternative constructivist approach. Think about your teaching style. Are you more hands-on or hands-off? Here are some strategies that you can discuss with the interviewer: peer editing, teaching and assessment, self and teacher assessment, discussion-based lessons, research, and learning through visual arts. I like to use a broad range of techniques, including learning through group discussions, hands-on arts-based projects, and self-assessment. I believe that by switching up the techniques in the classroom, I am keeping my students on their toes while also helping them to think more critically about their performance. Question number 7. Share a time you received constructive feedback. What was your response? Constructive feedback is a necessary tool to improve and develop as an educator. However, it is also telling if an educator uses it as a valuable method or if it affects them negatively. An interviewer wants the interviewee to handle constructive feedback maturely. This way, a healthy culture can be brought to the forefront of every school and work atmosphere. At the last school I worked for, I had some administrators observe me. Overall, they loved my lesson. They also had some feedback where they thought I could add smaller groups to the projects to get more people involved. I use this observation moving forward, and I believe it has brought more success to my students moving forward. Question number 8. How do you monitor the progress of students? Monitoring the process of students is a big part of teaching. Without it, students, parents, schools, and districts do not really know how students are doing with the curriculum. Over the school year, I keep strict documentation on how each student is progressing. This way, I can point to trends, improvements, and/or declines. This documentation protects me, the student, the school, and district moving forward. What is better is the fact that things are organized if I am ever audited. Question number 9. How do you manage your time efficiently? Time management is a skill that not all teachers possess. The interviewer wants to see how well you succeed in this area or not, so give a specific example of when you use your time effectively. When I get to school at 7 a.m. and leave at 4 p.m., I am on the school's time. I work on planning lessons, grading papers, and staying up with email. All my personal work and agenda happens before I go to work and after I get home. This is the way it should be with every teacher. Question number 10. How do you handle conflict between two students? Two students having conflict is nothing new. Classes will be full of students who do not like each other. But it is your job as an educator to show students how to model behavior appropriately. Share a protocol or consistent method that you have used over the years to back your answer. I had one class a few years back that had some serious issues with one another. I would discuss appropriate behavior among the class, but when two students got into it, I pulled them aside after class. I ended up being the middle person, and the two students respectively shared their grievances. Everything was out in the air, and I was able to mediate when things got heated. After the process, I went to the council to give her a heads up of what happened for liability reasons. Question number 11. Share a time when you interacted with angry parents who were complaining about your teaching methods. When students are mad about your teaching methods, you're bound to have angry parents to boot. Combat this issue by speaking to how you connect your lessons to school, district, and state standards. Additionally, share the value of your style, but be willing to discuss with the parents how you can help their child. Angry parents usually send an email first. This is great for me because then I have the talking points all laid out. I share how I connect my methods to standards. Additionally, I am never opposed to talking with the parents about how to engage their child better and what methods have worked for them in the past. Question number 12. What extracurricular activities have you been a part of? Teaching is not the only thing you will do at school. You are bound to be an advisor for some club or extracurricular activity. Share a time when you advise one of these things or speak to what you would be interested in advising for this new job. I would not say I am a green thumb, but I got asked to be the Green Squad advisor at my last school. My job was simply to have a space for students to work and grow, helping the environment. It was student-led, I just had to be the adult in the room. I really enjoyed it because I had passionate students who wanted to make a difference. Question number 13. How do you model listening in your classroom? As a teacher, you are one of the few examples in a student's life to actually model listening. Talk to the interviewer about how you give each student the time of day to have their voice heard. Showing that you give an outlet for students will really interest an administrator who is considering you for the job. When it pertains to discussions in my class, I make it clear to my students that they need to be respectful to other students when they are speaking. Also make sure to do this without cutting off my students. Modeling this and letting it play out in my classroom is the best example of allowing a safe environment to share and listen to others. Question number 14. Speak of a time where you motivated another teacher. Every day brings its own challenges. As a teacher, there will be days when you lack the energy to push through. The same could be said for other teachers. For this question, the interviewer wants to see how you bring optimism to teachers around you and inspire them. Share a time when a teacher's mindset changed because of something you did, big or small. There was one time when I noticed a colleague coming into school down. I pulled her aside into my classroom, I asked how she was doing, and she told me what was going on with a parent of one of her students. I affirmed her, reminded her why she was a teacher in the first place, and she left my room in a better state than when she started. Question number 15. What is your preparation like involving standardized assessments? Standardized assessments show where students stand in a variety of subjects. As a teacher, interviewers want to see how you prepare for the process. Share tips, tools, and tricks that you have used over the years to get students to learn, sometimes without them even knowing about it. There was a time where I had to get my students ready for the math section of the ACT. We worked through a variety of problems that got harder and harder in nature. Ultimately, we played a game involving teams to spice up the learning. The students loved it, and many asked for us to play it more. Thank you for watching. We have several great teacher interview guides on our website. We'll provide links in the description if you'd like to check them out. Also, we'd greatly appreciate it if you could like or share this video if you found it to be helpful. Thank you.